jiu-jitsu techniques, and we have worked on some knife techniques in the past, and most of these techniques that we start with tonight are going to be knife attacks. And knife attacks can come at you in several different ways, because not everybody's going to come at you with a knife in the same way. You might have someone coming down with a thrusting knife from above. You might have someone coming in with you with a knife in a stabbing motion to the midsection like this. And then you might even have people with a bigger knife, a Bowie knife or something, coming at you just filleting the knife. And a lot of different ways you can come at a knife attack. But we'll start with the knife coming straight at you in a stabbing motion, if you will. I'm going to use mat as my uke tonight. And the first motion we're going to take, the first thing you always want to realize when a knife is coming at you is, if at all possible, you want to avoid it. That's the first thing you have to keep in mind. Avoid the force that is coming against you, either by stepping to the side and going around, or stepping to the side and controlling the weapon. But you do not want to just stand head on and think somehow, like Superman, you're going to be able to defeat this character by standing head to head with him. That is never the way in jiu-jitsu or aikido or any of these techniques. So you always want to be well aware, as that knife is coming at you, boom, the first thing you want to do is step to the side. I'm choosing to use my left hand right now. As I step to the side, the knife comes in. I keep my right hand present. I bring the knife up in such a way where it's not a danger. It's just about at center. And then I'm going to step around to the front of them. And as I step around to the front of them, from being on this side of them, I can do a number of different things with the wrist. Okay? So, the knife comes, boom, I bring it up, I step. I can control the knife that way by bringing him to the ground. The knife comes, boom, I step to the side, I can bring the knife up. I can take a lower grip, come higher, and take more of a larger circle, if you will, instead of a small circle. The knife comes, I step in, I can grip this way, I can bring the knife around this way, and I can get him spinning in that direction. I'll show you how that works. Okay, I'm standing here, the knife is coming, boom, I step to this circle, I can get it up, I can bring him down in that fashion. Maybe the knife is coming at you, you step, boom, you block. You could also go in this direction. As you have control of the knife, you step in, the knife could come up and around, and you could bring him down this way. Again, we'll do that from here. I step to the side, boom. I step around this way. Once I have the knife here, I can then bring it up. I could even choose to take it out of his hand in this fashion. Get him to drop it, bring him to the mat if I wanted to. Another technique. As the knife comes at me, we'll go from this diagonal. As the knife comes at me, boom, I choose to grab it this time with my right hand. Now I've got control. His motion and his strength is already coming in this direction. I step in, I make a fist, I strike to the mouth or the nose, I strike hard, and I strike fast. Now his mind and focus of attention is on the pain that I'm inflicting by striking him into the mouth. I pop in for an arm bar. Right on the elbow, where I am able to break his elbow if I want to. So I snap him at the elbow and get him to drop the knife. From here I go into a finger lock. I just slide my hand down. I've already broke his elbow. Now I've got him at the fingers, and I come into a reverse guillotine. As I get him into a reverse guillotine, I apply pressure to the finger lock. If I choose to, with the guillotine, I raise up, and I lean back, and I snap his neck, and drop him to the ground. That's another option, with that knife coming at you from the side. So as he comes, I step and avoid. I grab the knife here, I step back and smack the face. I step in for an armbar here, take the armbar at the elbow, break it, slide down the fingers. Now I have them in a finger lock. You can see how painful it is the more pressure I apply. This arm now comes up off the elbow, gets them into a reverse guillotine. I snap the neck, I break the fingers, and let them drop to the mat. Or lift them to the mat and drop them. That's another technique that we could use with this knife. We'll go to this diagonal now. Let's say he's coming with the knife from a stabbing motion from up above. He comes, I block, thumb down. Once I block, I still apply the kotegaeshi, take it down to the mat, and control the knife. Show that one again. He comes up, I block, thumb down, kotegaeshi, boom. Take him down to the mat. Knife comes down, boom, block, kotegaeshi. And all of these techniques, even these techniques that we were working on from this side. As I step here, I'm coming in for a modified kotegaeshi. As I bring the weapon and the knife up, I step to this direction, I bring him to the mat. It's all in the wrist. It's all in the jiu-jitsu technique. The knife comes in, boom, snap up, spin around. Same thing here, only this time the knife is coming from above. Comes down, thumbs down, block, step in for the kotegaeshi, and bring him to the mat. Now, you'll notice I'm staying on my feet. When the knife comes down and I block it, boom, I could choose to go to a knee. As I go to my knee, I bring his hand into my hip in that direction and take him to the mat with force. Maybe the knife is in a stabbing motion. Okay, he's coming straight in, and I just choose to do a simple X block in jiu-jitsu. If the right hand is on the top when I block, I'll go right into an inverted arm lock. Hit triple warrior 11, pull up here, push down here, total pain. If my right hand is on the top, inverted hand lock, boom. What if your left hand is on the top? Come in, boom. Now your left hand is on the top, your right hand is on the bottom. Now I come in and I've got a wrist lock. Take him to the mat with a simple wrist lock. The knife from all different angles. What if he comes at you filleting, swinging the knife wildly? Maybe it's a big Bowie knife like this. And as he comes and swings, the first motion you want to do is to back out of the way. But as you're backing out of the way, put yourself to the side. Go around the attack. Step to the side of the attack. In judo, we have a motto. If an obstacle blocks your path, step aside and go around it. If an obstacle blocks your path, step aside and move around it. So as he comes, okay, I might step this way. Once this knife hits center, right as it's at the center point, and a little bit beyond, that's when you want to grab to block the knife. When it's just beyond center. So as it comes, boom, right there, right when that knife hits right here, I grab with my right hand, then I step in for that punch to the face, come in for the arm bar, with the knife, put the pressure on with the udigarami, grab for the fingers. That's when you can step aside, go in for the reverse guillotine, and then you have the finger lock. So if that knife is coming at you and he's really swinging it, you may want to step back and then boom! Right when that knife is at center point is when you can then apply some of your techniques. Udigarami, break the elbow, grab the fingers, come in for the reverse guillotine, lift up, snap the neck, lift high, snap the fingers, and finish the technique that way. Okay? Now, as you step in with that knife, okay, this time I come in, I got the right hand, I go in, Maybe I'm going to do this reverse lock. You all right?
Yeah.
But you always want to control the knife. Sure you're okay?
I'm good.
You got to be careful. As you can see, with all these wrist techniques and with all of these finger techniques, it's very easy to hurt your opponent. And you guys are always good ukis for me, so always be careful with that. One more knife attack before we take a break. Let's say he's coming down with a stabbing attack from the top. You may want to block in this fashion like I did, but instead of going for kotegaeshi, maybe you want to step in and you want to come for an inverted udigarami right here. You keep the elbow pinned against your chest. My arm is tucked under his tricep. The hand came up, grabs onto your own hand, and now you have an option. You can get him to either drop the knife or you can take him all the way to the ground if you wanted to from this position. I'll show you that again. As he steps in with the knife, I block here. This arm comes under, tucks. I pin the elbow against my chest, and I come in for an udigarami. Boom. I can take him all the way to the mat if I want, or I can choose to block with one hand, come in for the udigarami and pin it against my chest, and then I might leave this hand free instead of bringing it under this way and chop to one of the carotid arteries and do some damage and inflict some damage and pain that way. That's also a possibility. Those are all different techniques we work with knife attacks.